Good afternoon, everyone. I'm the Gray Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Sunday, June 11th, 2023. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? May I please have the first 5 cards of our 5-card spread? First card that we are starting our day off with today is the 4 of Swords in its upright. So a day right now of rest, a very good card for us to be starting our Sundays on. So this is a day where you may be feeling a need to have a point of restoration, a point of calm, giving yourself that space to rejuvenate, to renew. This is specifically going to be important for the feminine energy right now, specifically because we've been seeing for the feminine, there's been a lot of emotionality coming through with that Queen of Cups in its reversal, and then immediately with it back in its upright. We have been seeing that there was an abandonment wound that was triggered just a few days ago, but we're also recognizing the fact that this is this time that you're giving yourself to really move through that right now. For feminine energy right now, this is giving yourself that degree of rest and restoration so that you can come back into a point of emotional balance. While for masculine energy right now, this could be you working through some circumstances or situations around the feminine energy that has been going through this. We have seen with the masculine energy right now that the masculine energy, whatever this abandonment wound that was triggered was, actually brought them into a state of emotional balance. So for masculine energy right now, this is either working through a feminine energy who you may be recognizing is having a bit more difficulty as they go through some of these moments with this abandonment wound being triggered, while for the other part of the masculine energy right now, this could be a moment of you trying to orient around the emotionality of the feminine energy near you at this moment because it's moving back and forth. The next card that we have coming through right now in our 5-card spread is, we've got here the Hangman. So this is a point of pause. We are seeing here that there is something here that could be feeling somewhat suspended today. You could be feeling like you are in a point of limbo, going through some situations or circumstances that may be causing you some point of difficulty, but we're really recognizing the fact that you are going through this right now. You're experiencing these situations or circumstances. Whatever this abandonment wound that was triggered is helping you get a better sense of orientation as it relates to what is in your life, what is causing difficulties, what is the gift in those difficulties. There's a lot of assessment here. Whatever this rest period that we see that you're going through right now is, a part of that rest period is so that you can really take this time to focus on the situations and circumstances that are causing some problems, some difficulties for you, some anxieties, weighing them against what you are getting back in return. Is that gift equal in proportion or measure to what you're able to receive in this point of discomfort? Or is this only a short-term discomfort that will allow for greater easement as you go forward? This is a moment that we are seeing right now for masculine and feminine of contemplation as you proceed forward from this point. Next card we have coming through right now, center card for our 5-card spread is, we've got here Temperance in its reversal. So more than anything right now, this is very interesting energy because we are seeing that while there is this moment right now that is feeling like there is a bit of pause, you're taking today, you're giving yourself this time, you're really putting that assessment in what is causing these difficulties or problems in your life right now. Where you're feeling those points of discomfort, really asking yourself if the gift is worth the difficulty that it's causing, and also feeling a point of wanting to move into immediacy. So this is a pause right before some point of action. This could be feeling like a bit of frustrating energy here is what we're really seeing, because what we're really identifying that's coming through right now is you are holding right now, you're putting this contemplation in, but also you are feeling the anxiety or the degree that you shouldn't, like you may even be feeling guilty about taking this rest for yourself right now. This is a really good message from Spirit right now to give yourself this space, to give yourself this moment, to move away from some of this anxiety that you're potentially feeling, because we are seeing that what could be happening right now with this Hangman energy is there is a feeling of discomfiture around a circumstance or situation that is requiring you to do something about it sooner rather than later, because the point of difficulty may be starting to feel like it is overwhelming the point of pleasure or easement coming from the circumstances or scenarios. Next card we have coming through right now in our 5-card spread is, we have here the Knight of Wands in its reversal, and this is going to feel a bit different depending on whether you align to feminine or masculine energy right now, bearing in mind that this is not based on gender, but what you feel most aligned to. For masculine energy right now, this is a point of redress. We see here that there's something that feels like there is a blockage. It could be a blockage in terms of communication. It could be a blockage in terms of passion. This is you having this point of difficulty. We have been seeing this card coming through for the masculine in the last several days in the same position. So this is really a moment for the masculine energy of really assessing and trying to determine how to communicate, how to drive forward with your plans, your passion, your inspiration at this time. There is this point, though, we are also seeing that's requiring some point of rest for the masculine, even at this moment, because there's some situations or circumstances that are becoming somewhat problematic or difficult for you to be able to bear. This is that point of really putting into consideration how you want to proceed so far. For feminine energy, what we're really recognizing right now is, again, and we've been seeing this with the feminine energy a lot with the masculine energy, is there is some concentration right now around masculine energy in terms of their intentions, in terms of their communication, experiencing some degree of blockages as it relates to these circumstances or situations right now. For some of the feminine energy right now, that if you are in union, this is a moment where you are assessing or recognizing that the masculine energy is having some difficulty in terms of communicating, in terms of driving forward with the passion. While for feminine energy that's not in union right now, this could be a moment of feeling some uncertainty as it relates to the masculine energy around you, questioning their intentions, questioning their motivations as you proceed forward from this point. The fifth card for our 5-card spread today is, we have here the 3 of Pentacles. All of this is to say, this point of rest that we're seeing, this point of assessment, this degree and feeling some points of frustration and anxiety, and really, again, for masculine, trying to drive forward in communication, in trying to put your degree and desires forward from this point, is all to build a strong foundation right now. This is that point of rest, but it's a point of rest for the best possible circumstance or situation, trying to create a more stable foundation. For feminine energy right now, this is the same. For the feminine energy that's not in union right now, this is a moment that you yourself are potentially looking at the circumstances and situations around you right now, looking at the masculine energy and asking whether this energy is showing the degree or capability to build these foundations with, based in mind that there is this the need or desire for communication to be pushed forward at this time. While for the feminine energy right now that's in union, this could be feeling like there is some work that needs to be done around the masculine energy as it relates to communication, wanting to build these strong foundations as you go forward from this moment. So all of this period of rest, all to build a strong foundation for yourself as you proceed forward today. Let's get some clarification on these cards right now. Clarification between our 4 of Swords in combination with the Hangman. So for feminine and masculine energy right now, what we're really seeing is there is this point that you're giving yourself. You're allowing yourself a moment of rest. You're allowing yourself a moment of pause. There is this point of feeling some degree of frustration or difficulty around some situations and circumstances. This could be a moment of assessment, really looking at these circumstances, asking what the gift is that you're getting from them, looking at what you have to kind of experience in order to get that gift, putting this through right now as a period of really taking your time as you proceed forward from this point. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with our 10 of Cups in its reversal. So this is also expressing some of that feeling of frustration or exhaustion that you may currently be experiencing around some circumstances or situations. You are taking right now this moment of rest. You're taking this moment of pause for yourself. You are carefully looking at the situations and circumstances, and you are asking yourself if there is the opportunity or possibility to be able to be completely forthright in these. There could be a feeling of overgiving or feeling like you are giving and not necessarily getting back in kind. It's this point of dysregulation that is kind of requiring you to take this pause right now, because we see that it's almost reaching a point of exhaustion for you in terms of what you are giving and what you're getting back. And that's what's creating some of those feelings of blockages as you go through this. But we do see here, we like to see the fact that the Hangman is getting some insight even as you go through this period. There is something here about a higher lesson coming through right now, but it is kind of leading you to a state of exhaustion as you currently experience it. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our Hangman in combination with the Temperance card in its reversal. There is a feeling right now, assessing, putting a lot of degree of concentration in any circumstances or situations that you currently find yourself in right now, really weighing the difficulty level there, weighing whether the gift that you're receiving in kind is equal and proportionate to what you are getting back, and feeling like there needs to be some point of easement. There is something here that is feeling like a point of frustration. There is something here that's putting a lot of care and attention into timing, in feeling like there needs to be some kind of movement in these situations or circumstances that are causing this point of difficulty for you at this moment. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with our Five of Swords in its reversal. I'm not surprised to see this card. We received it just a couple of days ago. This is that moment of feeling like there's some resolution that you haven't necessarily received. You're waiting here for that point of resolution. You're trying to find a way forward here. You may be feeling like you're not getting that point of resolution at this moment. You want a point of easement around any circumstances or situations that are causing you any kind of degree of difficulty. You are weighing them very carefully, asking yourself, the question that you're really asking yourself as it relates to these hangman situations right now is, how long will these difficult situations be? Is this something that is interminable? Is this going to be the way that it is indefinitely? Or is there some point of activation? Is there going to be a change that's required that will allow you to come into a point of easement? There is a feeling right now of wanting to get to the bottom of that, wanting to come to some point of closure. A good reminder today that closure is something that we create within ourselves, maybe even doing some of that right now. For some of you right now, this is putting some point of assessment and taking some steps to try to find some closure as you go forward right now, having some things that need to be worked through, having some things that need to be resolved. While for others right now, this is a moment that you are potentially feeling some difficulty in building that sense of resolution or closure for you in this moment as you proceed forward from this time. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our Temperance in its reversal in combination with our Knight of Wands in its reversal will feel a bit different for feminine and masculine energy right now, bearing in mind this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. For feminine energy right now, there is a feeling of timing, waiting on something, feeling like there is something here that needs to happen or needs to move forward right now, feeling some point of frustration potentially around the timing of some masculine energy that is around you right now, potentially feeling that there is some communication blockages here. There is some preventative issues around being able for that energy to move forward with their passion or their communication. Feeling like here there is this moment of, again, putting a lot of weight in terms of timing and feeling the anxiety of that timing. While for masculine energy right now, this is you also feeling like that, having this feeling of frustration, having this feeling of uncertainty as it relates to your own ability right now around something that you have to potentially wait for. Asking yourself if this is something that you can move towards right now from a point of fruition, if this is going to lead you to those long-term goals, those long-term plans, wanting to drive forward your communication right now, but also feeling like there is some anxiety or degree as it relates to your own sense of time in this moment. Continuing to get clarification on these two cards is, we have here coming through, we like this. We've got here Six of Cups energy. This is all about working through karmic energy, looking truly at the energy in the relationships around you right now, finding those ones that are supportive, asking yourself, are these energies showing some degree or capacity of building support even in moments right now that you are feeling this point of blockage? For masculine energy right now, this is you potentially feeling some areas or circumstances or situations where you're having some difficulty as it relates to communicating, as it relates to driving forward on your passion. Time could have some kind of element or degree of element there, feeling like you need to move sooner rather than later. But again, putting your concentration right now in really restoring and moving into the degree and capacity of those healed karmic energies that are around you at this moment. Using this as a moment that even though you're feeling your own personal blockage right now, putting that care and attention towards those energies that you feel are building those strong karmic positive connections for you at this moment. For feminine energy, this is a moment of orientation. And again, it will feel different for feminine, bearing in mind that this could be on one or two sides of the collective. For some of the collective feminine energy right now, this is a moment that you are seeing or recognizing that there is some masculine energy that is prevented from coming forward towards you in some way. You are feeling some anxiety and degree in terms of timing, but you are doing everything you can to work through this circumstance or situation because you recognize that this is a healed karmic connection. For the other half of the feminine energy right now, what we're really seeing is this is a moment that you yourself are going through. You are looking at the masculine energy around you right now. You are questioning their motivations. You are questioning their actions. You're questioning their passion with a concentration, really asking yourself, do these energies look supportive? Do they look like they are helping? Do they look like they are trying to grow and build with you at this time? That is what's giving you this point of orientation as you go forward from this point. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our Knight of Wands in its reversal in combination with our Three of Pentacles. So for feminine and masculine, this will feel a bit different. For feminine energy right now, this is a moment that you yourself are having some difficulties as it relates to communication with the masculine energy. There is this point that you are recognizing that some of the masculine energy might not be able to come forward towards you at this point, or is not necessarily be able to communicate fully in terms of their passion, in terms of their expressions, but you're putting this work in to build these strong foundations around yourself as you go forward from this point. Well, for the masculine energy right now, this is a moment that you yourself are feeling some of this blockage internally. This could feel like more of a personal blockage, some doubts, some anxiety, some fears, things that are potentially holding you back in being able to move forward in the ways that you would ideally desire towards your passion, towards your purposes, towards communication right now. But putting this concentration again in what you're trying to build for yourself, reorienting any feelings of doubt right now on the foundation that you are trying to build around yourself at this time. May I please have one card to clarify? Oh, there it is. Oh, clarification coming right now with our Six of Wands in its reversal. So there is this feeling of doubt and anxiety that's coming up here right now. This is where we see this Nine of Cups energy in its reversal coming back through. There is some anxiety as it relates to your own feelings of degree or success at this moment. For feminine energy right now, this could be feeling any blockages or stuck energy around masculine energy that's around you at this moment. Recognizing that there is some feelings of doubt that are maybe potentially coming to the surface, and this is something that needs to be worked through. Again, working towards that higher victory, working towards that metric of success with that point of orientation on what you're trying to create for yourself at this moment. While for masculine energy right now, this is a moment that you may be feeling this a lot more personally, having some anxiety to build in this moment for yourself. For masculine energy, this is going to be feeling more like a personal concern, a personal point of anxiety. While for feminine right now, this is a moment that you yourself are feeling, again, some blockage as it relates to the masculine energy, doing what you can right now to try to shore up or build towards a strong foundation for yourself, around some energy to really try to move into a space of feeling like you can have some victory in here at this moment. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our Nine of Cups in its reversal in combination with our Five of Swords in its reversal. So this is some of that feeling of exhaustion that we're seeing here. There is this degree or feeling right now of feeling somewhat depleted, feeling like you've kind of been putting a lot of energy forward right now, maybe not necessarily feeling like you're getting it back in kind, but this being a moment right now of really asking yourself how to create this point of resolution, looking around and recognizing that there may be some circumstances or situations that you're pouring a lot of energy into right now. But the reason that's becoming a point of frustration is you're not necessarily feeling like you're getting the resolution that you need in terms of that work, that you might not be seeing the reciprocity coming through here. And that's what's creating some of this blockage as you go forward from this point. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with, oh no, our Empress in its reversal. Again, this is going to feel a little bit different depending on whether you align to feminine or masculine energy right now. Bearing in mind that this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. For feminine energy right now, this is a moment that you yourself are potentially experiencing some feelings or frustrations as it relates to your own ability to feel loved, appreciated, seen in this moment. For feminine energy right now, there could be an anxiety or fear that you're pouring your cup right now into places that you're not necessarily getting the reciprocity that you would ideally desire at this moment. But we see here that there is something here that is requiring you to take that point of resolution for yourself, really orienting on how to come back into a point of correction as you proceed forward from this time. While for masculine energy right now, this is a moment of feeling like there is some feminine energy that you feel is somewhat blocked from you at this moment. For some of the masculine energy right now, this could be, if you're in union, this is feeling like there's a feminine energy that may potentially not be feeling seen or appreciated to the degree or capacity that they would ideally desire right now. Recognizing here that you may be feeling like you're trying to pour a lot into this cup and not necessarily getting it back in return, but utilizing this moment to try to get into this point of address, trying to get into a space right now of coming into a point of having some kind of resolution through some difficulty, working through some point of conflict right now, because what we're really seeing for masculine and feminine energy here is this isn't necessarily something something that you want to walk away from. This is potentially feeling like there's something here that you want to come into a point of correction for. For feminine energy, this could be reorienting a lot back on the self and what you are giving. For masculine, this is working to move a feminine back into a space where they feel open and available to you at this time. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now, between our Five of Swords in its reversal, in combination with our Six of Cups. So for masculine and feminine energy right now, what we're really seeing is this is a point of redress. Recognizing right now of some situations or circumstances that you're identifying, there may be some points that need to be worked through right now, but we're seeing here that you're recognizing that these are healed karmic connections. These are positive energies around you. They are supportive even in a moment of conflict, and you're doing some work right now to resolve or to come into a point of orientation at this time, feeling that supportive energy around you as you proceed forward from this point. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with our Queen of Wands in its upright. And we like to see this card here because this, and it will feel a bit different depending on whether you align to feminine or masculine energy right now. For feminine energy right now, this is that point of activation. This is a moment right now of feminine energy recognizing the circumstances or situations where they feel like there are these positive healed karmic energies near them at this time. There's something here again that requires a point of resolution. It requires a point of easement. But we see here that the feminine energy isn't moving away from that, but doing everything they can right now to activate in those spaces, to come to that point of resolution, recognizing the situations or circumstances that are truly giving back to them in kind and willing to put that work in as feminine comes out of a space where, again, the feminine might not necessarily be feeling immediately as like high vibrational as it relates to their own heart space right now. But this is feminine really utilizing this time right now to put this time and care and energy in to get into a space of taking the opportunity right now to do the things necessary in order to heal these karmic connections that they think are valuable to them at this moment. For masculine energy, what we're really seeing at this time is this is a moment that you yourself have a lot of concentration towards a feminine energy that you feel has this degree or ability to move through even at a point of conflict, recognizing that this is a healed karmic connection at this moment. Now, for masculine energy right now, this could be identifying more than one feminine energy. This is either a singular feminine energy that's embodying these qualities or different feminine energies that are around you at this time. This is either a feminine energy that you are noticing the fact that there is some anxiety or fears as it relates to your own ability to move towards them from a point of your heart's desire, that there's something here about this energy that may not be feeling as appreciated or as in a romantic fashion as you would ideally desire, but you're recognizing that that energy is one that seems very focused in terms of what they're able to achieve, how they're able to move through points of difficulty that's allowing this point of easement at this moment. For other parts of the masculine energy right now, this is potentially moving away from energy that you feel is depleting you or not necessarily returning in kind towards a feminine energy that you recognize is giving you this degree or capacity of movement, is showing the ability to move through these points of difficulty. So this is moving you towards a space of the healed karmic energy at this moment. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our Six of Cups in combination with our Six of Wands in its reversal. So again, this is doing a lot of work today around assessing some situations or circumstances that we see have morale somewhat low. We see the fact that morale is a bit low right now. There is something here about exhaustion that's coming through very heavily in these cards right now. But again, reorienting, moving back into the healed karmic energies, doing those things to create restorative moments, to move you out of any spaces or places that you're feeling are not leading you to that point of success at this time, with the energy towards these to work to a better, more positive success point. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now. There's that abandonment wound being triggered. We've been seeing this in the deck over the last few days. There's something coming up here around an abandonment wound. Doubts and fears are rising to the surface right now. There's something occurring right now that is feeling very triggering for both masculine and feminine energy. There are some anxieties or some points of success or some anxieties as it relates to that point of success. But we see here for masculine and feminine energy, the healed karmic energies are working right right now very carefully to try to work through these abandonment wounds, trying to reorient for all the energy right now. This is a moment of really coming towards the karmic energies that you feel are supporting you and able to be supportive even as an abandonment wound is being triggered, trying to find a metric of success even at the point that something about the abandonment wound is making you have some of these doubts and fears rise up to the surface. Let's continue to get clarification on these cards right now between hairy energy for feminine right now. Hairy energy for feminine, because what are we seeing right now? For feminine energy, this is a moment that you are both in your Empress in its reversal in combination with our Queen of Wands. So again, not necessarily feeling at your most amorous, not feeling at your most appreciated, at your most loved right now. Having some degree of working through your own sense of self-love at this moment, but coming into your own power to activate through this. We do see here what we like about the feminine energy right now is you're not necessarily allowing yourself to get lost in this or fall into despair, feminine. You're taking the steps necessary to help move you back into a point of alignment, even as you're feeling some fears or concerns in your own heart space and gravitating into your heart space right now. While for masculine energy right now, this is either embodying right now, a manifestation of feminine right now that you recognize has this quality, has this Queen of Wands energy, but there may be some feelings of recognizing that that energy isn't necessarily in a space where they feel as open, as available, as amorous towards you as you may ideally desire. There could be something here about this feminine energy right now that you may be feeling some point of rejection on, and you're trying to work through it. And this could be the feminine energy's own fears around their own care of the self right now, or feeling like this energy isn't necessarily moving towards you with the degree and capacity that you would desire from a loving space right now. While for the other part of the masculine energy right now, this could be talking about more than one feminine energy around you right now. One that you recognize and see as at a point of activation, is able to move with this power through points of difficulty, while there may be another that you may feel is somewhat blocked from you, isn't necessarily available to you in some way, is potentially, again, we've seen with the feminine energy, there's some fears coming through to the surface around the masculine. So this could be feeling like there's some energy right now that is feeling like a point of rejection for the masculine. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now. This is that point of exhaustion that we're seeing with this strength in its reversal. This energy for feminine right now is feeling somewhat depleting, because while we see that you are taking a lot of steps, you're using today to really activate. You're trying to rest, but you're also trying to really get into your own activation point at this moment. It is creating a point where you are feeling vulnerable, because something around the feminine energy right now is being triggered in the heart space. It's either being triggered right now by a masculine energy that you recognize is at this feeling of degree of exhaustion, or is not communicating, or doesn't seem to be moving in the way that you would ideally desire at this moment. And also for the other half of the collective right now, this could be feeling a lot of doubts and fears right now around the masculine energy that is approaching you at this time, that is causing you to feel some of this vulnerability. While for masculine energy right now, what we're really seeing is this is a moment that you yourself are feeling extremely vulnerable towards the feminine energy around you at this moment. And again, this is either because there's a single feminine energy right now that you recognize is either at a point of articulation, they're at a point of expression, but you're feeling some fears as it relates to their own emotional connection to you at this moment. While for the other half of the masculine collective, this could be feeling like there is more than one feminine energy around you right now, and that energy is coming through in different ways. Some of it is feeling like it is more communicative, it is more productive, while another part of it may be feeling like there is this blockage. And this is what's creating this point of vulnerability as you try to work through any circumstances or situations that you're experiencing at this time. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our Queen of Wands in combination with our Five of Pentacles. And this is going to feel very, very different for masculine and feminine energy at this moment right now. For masculine energy right now, this is that feeling of an abandonment wound potentially being triggered at this time, but with a lot of orientation right now towards a manifestation of feminine that you recognize is in this point of activation. Something here is triggering your own abandonment wound. And I will point out, for the masculine energy, this could be feeling like some level or degree of intimidation point around the feminine energy as you go through this. For some of the masculine energy right now, this is a moment that you are experiencing an abandonment wound, but you are getting supported right now with a feminine energy that you feel is expressive, is communicative, is able to move through even these difficulties or degrees of you experiencing this abandonment wound. While for the other half of the masculine energy right now, this is the abandonment wound potentially being triggered because you recognize a feminine that is in their power in this degree. And this could be taking some points of having to work through because it is making you feel vulnerable. While for feminine energy right now, what we're really seeing that's rather beautiful in a certain degree is the fact that while there is an abandonment wound that's currently being triggered right now, we see the fact that you're not allowing yourself to get caught in that point of the abandonment wound. You're experiencing the emotional heartbreak that the abandonment wound may be potentially causing you at this moment, but you are trying to think critically, you're trying to activate, you're trying to make very positive, productive movements, even in the face of this abandonment wound being triggered. May I please have one card to get clarified? Two cards coming out to clarify right now. And this is the Eight of Cups in combination with the Sun in its reversal. So this really being a moment right now, again, of feminine and masculine, really assessing the energy that's around you at this time. For feminine right now, there is a moment that there is an abandonment wound that's being currently triggered around you at this moment. You are recognizing that that abandonment wound is being triggered. But as we said, this is not necessarily something that you're allowing yourself to get too overly emotional on right now. You are instead critically looking at the abandonment wound, asking yourself how to move through it from the way of most productivity, with a lot of perception right now on what is creating any difficulty, what is creating any lack of positivity in this moment. And that may be the thing or the sign that you are potentially ready to walk away from circumstances or situations that are not bringing you that immediate point of joy. Really doing some work right now to make some choices and move into a point of easement through some adversities that you're currently experiencing. For feminine right now, this is making a lot of very implicit choices as it relates to how to proceed forward from this abandonment point, with a lot of orientation on your long-term happiness going forward. While for masculine energy right now, this is a moment that you yourself are experiencing some degree of an abandonment wound being triggered. You are recognizing that abandonment wound. For masculine, you're going to fall on one of two different sides of this. For some of the masculine energy right now, what we're really interpreting is the fact that you have this abandonment wound being triggered. But either you're feeling the support right now of the feminine energy that's around you in this moment as you're guided forward, allowing this to be a point of accessing what's not necessarily bringing joy or happiness right now, and moving away from those things in kind with the support of that feminine energy around you at this moment. While for the other half of the masculine energy right now, this could be an abandonment wound that is feeling triggered right now, specifically because you are recognizing that there is this energy of feminine right now that you feel is in their power, and that something about this energy does trigger you and is creating this feeling of anxiety or uncertainty that which you might be moving away from at this time. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our Strength card in its reversal, in combination with the Sun card in its reversal, in combination with our Eight of Cups. So this really being a moment of feeling, this is some of that exhaustion that we've been seeing in the cards for today. There is a feeling right now of vulnerability, some trigger being potentially hit. There is some feeling about being able to keep your own energetic levels up at this time, having some of these feelings of uncertainty, having some feelings of moving into a point of disease, but also recognizing right now, trying to move away from any circumstances or situations that may be causing this for you in turn right now, making some choices right now to come into a point of easement, even through some difficulties or hurdles that you are accepting at this time. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with our Tower in its reversal, and we love to see this card in its reversal, because what we're really identifying right now is this is that point of correction. This is that point of moving away from any circumstances or situations that you may have been creating a point of crisis for you at this time. I'm also going to point out that this can feel somewhat triggering. When we see this Tower card in its reversal, it's very common for some of those old traumas to come to the surface. There is this point of addressing right now that's currently happening in terms of having to weigh what you've experienced in the past and utilizing that energy to move you away from anything you feel might be causing a point or degree of crisis in this moment. That is why we see some of this sun in its reversal in combination with the strength card in its reversal. There's something coming through right now that is feeling very triggering for both masculine and feminine energy. But you're taking this time, you're using this assessment to move with a lot of intentionality, making choices to help create a point of easement in order to correct for any points of crisis that you may be feeling you are moving into at this time. Bottom of the deck on this reading right now is Wheel of Fortune. So this is a point. This is some of that pause that we're currently seeing right now. There is a bit of this wait and see mentality that's coming into play right now. There is some questioning as to what is most aligned to your own path at this moment. For both feminine and masculine, there is this kind of point of rest that's happening. And this feeling that while you are feeling a degree of urgency coming through right now with this Temperance in its reversal, there's also something potentially pulling you into a space of just allowing things to move at a point that they are meant to move. Having this be a point that kind of requires you to surrender to a certain degree to the circumstances and situations that you're currently experiencing. Recognizing that that point of surrender may lead you to the point of easement that you're hoping for as you proceed forward from this point. That is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank you guys so much for being here and sharing it with me. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, you can book one on my website, graystrega.com. My private readings are done over video with the option of a recording sent to you afterwards. And if you are a subscriber to my TikTok, you can take 10% off any of my services when you pay. Just mention your subscriber ID at the point of payment. Also, please keep in mind that booking a reading on my website is a two-step process. You have to book the reading and you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you'd like to have that reading. Most importantly, please remember that I will never reach out to you for a reading. I will never PM you. I will never DM you. I will never tell you that I have some deep special message from your ancestors that only I can share. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my website. So please do it there. I want to thank you guys so much for having this reading with me today, and we will do this again tomorrow.